Good. So we're going to read Act 2 today. So I'm going to get started. So if everybody can mute yourself, we'll get going. And I wouldn't say any of us thought when we left that we would not come back for the school year. I think we were all optimistic that, we'd be home for a few weeks and then come back. I can't speak for everybody, but yeah. My name is Karen Van Zytveld. I am currently a 5th grade humanities teacher at Galileo Scholastic Academy in Chicago, Illinois. I teach reading, writing, and social science to 2 groups of 5th graders. It was March 16 was our last day of school. And since then, there have been 55 school days. We still have 3 weeks to go. Yeah, so that is our work for today. If anybody has a question now, you can unmute. We'll stay on for maybe like 4 minutes until 11:40, and then I will send you the recording as well because not everybody was able to make it here with us today. So go ahead, you can unmute if you have a question. Teaching from the living room, from the front window of our first floor. And I set up a bookshelf. I brought home a lot of my professional books and kids' books. I have it all stacked around me. It's not organized very, very neatly. But it is nice to be in the window. I see a lot of people going by and they know I'm there now. It at least brings to their awareness that teachers are working from home and we are actively working from home. I'm exhausted. I'm my body hasn't moved from this position. So I had a couple glitches. Before distance learning, I had the 2 sections of kids, about 30 kids each, and I saw them for 2 hours and 30 minutes a day to teach all those 3 subjects. We now had 2 hours for science, math, social science, reading, and writing. So each subject got about 20 minutes. I do live lessons Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. There might be some recorded lessons or time to check in with me. There are study hall hours. You can check in, you can get caught up on missing work, which for many of the kids, that's the challenge. Yesterday's part of the story I recorded, and it was a link in your weekly learning plan. So if you didn't listen to that part, you might be a little bit behind. So listen for today and then go back and listen to that Google Meet, to that recording. There's a link to it in your learning plan. Okay? It might sound like, oh, you're teaching live for, 30 minutes a day. What are you doing the rest of the time? But the rest of the time is answering an insane number of emails and, kids can't find this. Where do I find this? I'm ready to take this. Can you send it to me? And then also meeting one-on-one with kids in Google Meets. Do any of you have questions? Because we're not going to start technically for 4 more minutes. So questions about work that's in gradebook, right? I think you must have been in gradebook because I noticed that you're turning some things in. And as you turn them in, I'll just keep up on the grading as best I can, right? I can't be in MobyMax every minute updating your grades, but by the end of the day, I always go back and put things in, okay? A comedian responds to the laughter of the crowd, right? It helps you perform, and teaching is kind of the same way. Teachers totally rely on feedback, right? Like you said, walking around table to table, you get a sense of who is getting it and who is not, who needs the extra support, or like you say, turn and talk to your partner, right? They get feedback from their partner and get a chance to use some of the vocabulary, and there's no turn and talk to your partner now. And most of the time you'll ask a question and you'll say, you can unmute, and it's like silence. Nobody wants to be the one speaking. I think this is maybe my 3rd trip since school closed.
And what are you getting today?
A couple more books for specific kids that we're going to drop books off for today. And I dropped some off at this one student's house. At least I thought that was her house. Left it on the front steps and got an email saying, aren't you going to deliver those books? So I might have left them at the wrong house. I used the address in Aspen. So I will confirm that again with them before leaving them this time. And I'm handing out these books knowing that it is not likely they will come back, but that's okay. As long as they can use them. It is always nice to go back. Like, I have a great view of downtown Chicago from my window, and I do like my room. I've spent years kind of figuring out how I want it to be, and I think I'll probably teach my mini lesson from the room, which might make the kids a little sad tomorrow to actually see it. But it is always good to get back in there. I always take a picture of David's head looking over the Sears Tower. I'm gonna open it up. This is our Scholastic News magazine for March 16 outbreak. We never got to use it because the kids had left. A new virus has been in the news a lot lately. Find out what's being done to keep you safe. I'm gonna take one of those with me. And it had, 5 interesting facts, and at this point we don't need to worry. Like, it's in China, there's only, so many cases. It was fascinating to go back and read it now. It's all of the inmates. He would probably like that. Look at that. Here's my Hamlet movie. When I taught 4th grade, I should show that to the kids. One unit I created to try to increase my engagement a little bit because it had been at about 30 to 50% maybe. Was a unit on Hamlet that I had done when I taught 4th grade. This book that we are reading, this one, right, is not Hamlet's real text. It has been rewritten for kids by Lois Burdett. So far shorter, not written in iambic pentameter, but really engaging, like getting them the basic of the story. And so it's probably the most fun I've had creating a unit in a little while, actually. I asked friends from around the world to introduce a character from Hamlet in like a 1-minute video, and then to also include where they are in the world, so it was a little geography lesson too. And I had a friend introduce Polonius, and she used her own cell phone and I think just reversed the screen. So when she holds up her sign that says Polonius, it will be backwards, but you know how to spell it because it's here on your screen. So here we go with Polonius.
Hi, I'm Uche. I am Nigerian American, and I am currently in Skokie, Illinois. The Shakespearean character that I have for you is Polonius, an advisor to the king and father of Laertes and Ophelia. Good luck with your Shakespeare exploration.
And you'll recognize this person.
Hey everyone, it's Miss Core. Right now I am in Los Angeles, California with my family, but originally my family is from India and we come from a state called Punjab, which is on the north side of India. The character that I'm going to introduce is Ophelia.
So first they learned about all the characters, and then each day I would read a different section. I think I broke it up into 7 or 8 chunks. And I'd wear my crown or wear my robes and challenge them to, dress like royalty. And it was a lot of fun. I think kids enjoyed it, and we had good participation, and I could kind of see the chat while I was reading aloud to them. And like they put emojis in there for, like, oh my, and, type in their responses, when they find out that, Claudius actually killed Hamlet's father. Like, they would be shocked, and that would show up, and that was kind of fun. They were texting all kinds of face icons when I was reading, like, and smiley faces, and I think it helps to wear a costume. I think that kind of made it seem more fun, so I might need to do that each time. And I think it helped that I enjoyed it too. That's always true in teaching. If you don't love reading, like, it makes it harder to teach reading, and so it was a boost for me to be able to have some fun with it too. He tells him what really happened was Claudius approached Hamlet's dad when he was sleeping in the garden, and he took some poison. I made myself a little fake bottle of poison and poured it in his ear, and that's how Hamlet actually died, King Hamlet. So now in this play, I think distance teaching can be done well, but I didn't. I feel I did the best I could, but need to rethink things. I've got to get a little sad. And teachers, honestly, we all just did our best, and we tried to be gracious and supportive. At least teachers I know, right? And we made it through. We all made it through. And so there's something to that. Even though it was distance and it didn't always feel like I was connecting kids, or that engagement was there, because, they just all had their screens, their webcams turned off, I still did feel like a teacher. Like, I felt I created good lessons. Kids were responding in classwork later, right? Like, they would turn in work, and so I could see that my teaching was having an impact. So I still did feel like a teacher. And when you'd have a Google Meet with that kid who hadn't come back to class, and they'd be happy to see you, and it was just so nice to see them too. Those were still good teacher moments. I would say it helped, like, forget all the other hard stuff. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I think just seeing their face, like, made up for lots of other stuff, all the aggravating parts. Because in the end, you just want to know that they're okay.